their descendants. But God is God for all. That's why when He blessed both the master and the slave. And He said He will make kingdoms of all the nations, and from there they both will populate, and all the people before even this promise, like the Noah people that we are talking about. So by the time you read those chapters that we just mentioned, Genesis chapter 10, Genesis chapter 19, Judges chapter 10, Numbers 21, and by the time you read Genesis chapter 12, even Genesis chapter 24, 24 from verse 1 to 2, you will also hear what the Lord Himself has said about the same group of people. So God Himself is a God that loves and cares about everybody else, because you will see that somebody, for example, Lot is a cousin to Abraham. But Lot is wayward. But Abraham was always looking out for his brother's son. So you see that God Himself blessed everybody. So when you see that when people want to talk about how somebody is, God made them poor, we know there's going to be poor people in the world anyway. But being poor does not mean God made you poor. You could have been responsible for your own poverty. You see here, the wise word in the Proverbs talks a lot about, if you don't engage yourself in things that are going to be fruitful, and you want to be lazy and don't want to engage in things, you'll be hungry. And in fact, even in the New Testament, Paul, in his letter to the Thessalonians, if you go to chapter 3, from verse 1 to 6, you also see him telling them, no, if you don't work, don't even feed them, don't give them food. If they want to be idle and don't want to produce things and make things of their own, let them starve and don't give them food. It was actually a command from the Lord. Don't feed an idle man. But the challenge and the problem that the society is having, which I hope is not the case for our members, because I know a lot of people are looking for a job, they are ready to work, but they cannot find work. And that's the disaster. And that is where there is a problem. The stronghold, the government, and the people who fail in their duties to create an opportunity for people to be able to do work. You finish college, you can find a job. You learn to be a mechanic, you can't find a job or a car to repair. You can't find the money to buy tools to start that. You want to be a carpenter, but you cannot find no job. You go to college and get doctorate, then you can find a job that can pay you so that you can pay your student loan. I mean, you find all kinds of obstructions and barriers that is caused by people. So these are the ones that concerns God. So in today Sunday school, we want you to look at that if you know that you are indeed living a life of the soldiers and you are looking for a job, you cannot find a job, then you have a duty to seek for counsel to find out why. Because you're ready to work. You have gone to school. You have acquired skills. You've gone to vocational school. Training, have acquired skill. You have done apprentice. You have learned skill. But you do not see a place where you can use and engage it, so that it can bring you good news, so that you can give thanks and offering to God, so that more offering will come in the house of the Lord, as Paul said to the people of Corinth. So the question now in the Sunday school is for you to begin to look into your life to find out why this is the case, because we would like to pray so that those things can change and turn around. Is it the work of a human hand? Is it something you have caused by yourself? Like sometimes a while ago, and I tried from here to see if we can set up some things so that people can get a job, for example, in Nigeria at the time. And they began to tell me about, oh, I have a degree and I can do that kind of a job, to be a nanny or to be a care to the elderly back in over there in Nigeria. because they consider it to be a menial job, but they want to work in a bank. They're looking for a job. Do you have something so that the civil service work? Do you have connection to the government so that they can work? They're looking for a place where they're going to go steal, because some people have formed the habit of where they're going to steal. They want to reap where they did not sow. And I was kind of shocked by it. And I said, we know how many degrees I have, and I had to work, for example. There are people who are disabled and cannot be able to go to the bathroom, and when they finish, I give them a shower and clean their behind. And this a lot of people are doing it here. Do you know how many people that have a doctorate, some professors that moved over there and came here, they're driving a taxi, and you think that what is the dignity of labor? Some of them might feel so terrible, and you wonder why things are yourself. You feel like, oh, this is a hard labor. But you have forgotten. We're talking about the parable of the talent, and the parable of the bag of gold, and the parable of the servant, and then it gives an example. Now, if you go back to the book of Luke chapter 16, and he cannot be trusted with so little, cannot be trusted with so much. And then if you cannot be trusted with somebody's property, who will trust you with your own property? So the service of the people, meaning the changing that orientation that everybody needs to live. For example, a huge migration into the city. You tell somebody, why can't you stay home and do a farming? And there is a lot of money in farming, because you'll be producing something somebody eats. You will never be hungry. But they will decide to look for, they want to run to the city, or everybody crowded over there looking for, there is so much competition, and they'll be competed out. Especially if you are not the type, I know our soldiers will not be able to go and steal and engage in the kind of life some people live, life that is unworthy of a soldiers of Christ. But wherever you are and in whatever you are doing, you are given a chance, an opportunity. What do you do with it? So we're going to pray so that we begin to change the mentality and the mind to understand that the dignity of labor, work is work. There is pride in somebody who goes around to be able to collect a dustbin and trash and poop. That's one great thing that we are losing in this country, in this great United States of America, because we know there is dignity of labor. A man that goes around to collect trash from the streets and in the neighborhoods and the